Now we're going to talk about good works, and do good works really matter to God? And this is an interesting passage. The wedding of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready. So his bride has made herself ready. It's not that the bridegroom has made his bride ready, though in a sense he has, in terms of Christ and the work of Christ done for us, his righteousness. But again, what does it say and what does it not say? It could have said, the wedding of the Lamb has come, and the Lamb has made his bride ready. It could say that, but that's not what it says. Fine linen, bright and clean, was given her to wear. Now, don't look at that, what it says. You probably already did, but and that's fine. So if you said the fine linen was, okay, so it's obviously a symbol. And what does it represent? Well, the wedding dress of the bride of Christ. If I were to say, if an angel were to appear and say that fine linen, fine white linen of the wedding dress stands for or represents what would you think would be a proper theological answer to that? The righteousness of Christ, right? Isn't that what the bride is clothed in? And in another context, the answer would be yes. That's what it should say, but that's not what it does say. Now, what I just said would be perfectly proper, and God certainly could have said what I just said, that it's the wedding dress, the fine linen is the righteousness of Christ. But it says, fine linen stands for the righteous acts of the saints. Wow. So how well dressed we are is partly dependent upon us, when we stand before the Lord. And a funny thing happened with that, because I had an editor of my book, Mighty Possessions of Eternity. I quoted this passage. And the editor, who clearly disagreed with me in any number of areas, crossed out the parenthetical statement and then put a new paragraph mark, and then had me saying, fine linen stands for the righteous acts of the saints. He didn't bother looking up the actual passage, largely because he knew that had to be my comment. That could not, the Bible wouldn't say that. And he disagreed with my comment. But of course it was my comment. God did. And again, it's one of those things where I was just going, that's what the text says. I never would have come up with that. That's just what it says. Fine linen stands for the righteous acts of the saints. So, but honestly, if you got up, Jason, if you got up in your church and said, I got a quiz for you. So, the Bible talks about being, bride of Christ, wedding dress. What does the beautiful white wedding dress represent? How many people would answer the righteous acts of the saints? But that is the answer of this passage. And this is where I think we need to see how far divorced from the mentality of Scripture we have gotten in our overreaction against works. Because, again, I think Protestants overreact to the concept of you can't be saved by your works. Well, in a way I said that wrong, because that is 100% true. But what I mean is, what we end up doing is we diminish the importance of righteous acts and works, and can't even imagine that God would ever reward them. That would be terrible. That would be mercenary if people even cared about getting rewards, and yet rewards is everywhere in Scripture. And when you allow yourself to realize that, then you don't have to feel bad every time you see it and sort of ignore it and move on, because it's really what Scripture teaches.